Winston's Ned Jarrett, Dr. Jerry Punch, and John Kernan. This is...
We're going somewhere. No! I'm sorry, guys.
Oh, he has a Mark Martin is spinning to the infield. It's going to be a photo finish. They touch coming down through the tri-oval at the line. Who wins it? I believe John. Oh, wow. They're on the tri-oval, and Bobby Allison still has the lead. I don't think Dale Earnhardt is going to do it. It appears as if, yes, Bobby Allison wins the Winston 500.
Bill Elliott is racing into the record book. Bill Elliott is going toward immortality. Bill Elliott gets the checkered flag. Bill Elliott has won an additional $1 million in 1985.
Here comes Mark Martin trying to make a move off of corner number 4. It's a drag race.
Wow.
Oh,
For more than 10 years, ESPN, the world leader in motorsports, and Nascar, the National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing, have excited fans across America with the most competitive auto racing in the world. It's been a decade of excellence.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Rockingham, North Carolina for the Carolina 500. I'm Bob Jenkins along with Eli Gold, set to bring you the action. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Bob Jenkins along with Larry Newber. The big story in NASCAR racing at this point is the points battle, the battle for the Winston Cup. I'm Bob Jenkins, and welcome to Darlington. Hi, everyone. Believe it or not, I'm the same Bob Jenkins, welcoming you to a very special hour as we take a look at the first 10 years of ESPN's NASCAR coverage. Who would have believed that a small group of sports broadcasters based in central Connecticut would team up with the good old boys from the Southeast and help transform an already popular auto racing series into the most popular form of auto racing today? ESPN's first live coverage of a Winston Cup event came in November of 1981 at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Prior to that live event, we had already done 4 events on a tape-delayed basis. You'll see highlights of those early races along with some other memorable moments as we take you back in time. There will be some familiar faces to help us along our way tonight. Benny Parsons is a member of our broadcast team who has had some historic moments on the racetrack as well as behind the microphone.
A Winston Cup champion in 1973 and winner of the Daytona 500 in 1975, Benny retired following the 88th season to join ESPN as a pit reporter for our Saturday telecast and expert analyst for the Winston Cup Series.
Ned Jarrett has been a fixture in our NASCAR coverage as well. His on-track experience and insider's knowledge of the sport is impressive.
A 2-time Winston Cup champion and winner of 50 races, including the 1965 Southern 500, Ned is a member of the National Motorsports Press Association Hall of Fame.
Starting on the pole here this afternoon is one of the winningest drivers in NASCAR, the old pro David Pearson of Spartanburg.
From our earliest days on the air through that very emotional win at Michigan, Ned has been an invaluable part of our telecasts.
One thing that has distinguished ESPN's Winston Cup coverage has been the way our pit reporters have taken America into the garage area and along pit road in such a personal way.
Dr. Jerry Punch has introduced America to many of the sport's newest stars, the Winston Cup crew chiefs and team managers that get the drivers in and out of the pits in record time. His pit information keeps everyone up to date on race strategy.
I talked with Steve Mill, the team manager, and they've been discussing it, telling Mark, we don't want to run that hard. We want to be very, very ginger on those outside tires.
When we come back, we'll answer the question, who was the first driver to qualify in over 200 miles an hour for a Winston Cup event? As we take a look at a decade of excellence with ESPN and NASCAR.
ESPN and NASCAR, a decade of excellence, is being brought to you by Pop Secret Microwave Popcorn. Perfect popcorn is our passion. And by Budweiser, the king of beers. With that clean, crisp, cold taste, nothing beats a Bud.
Slides right into position.
And there, he's tightening.
1982, Benny Punch.
As well as a great Talladega finish.
Into the 33-degree banking of turn number 3, Darrell Waltrip has moved into the lead. Terry Labonte has moved into second position with Benny Parsons riding right beside him. Kyle Petty in 4th. Here they come off of the 4th turn.
Parsons is frozen. He can't move.
Onto the tri-oval, and this is going to be the checkered flag. Here comes Darrell Waltrip. Labonte trying to make a move, but he cannot do it.
You think I went fast?
5 years later, qualifying for the 1987 Winston 500, Bill Elliott set a record that may never be broken when he lapped Talladega Superspeedway at 212.809 miles per hour. The entire field had qualified at over 200 miles per hour, but that speed has set us up for one of the most dramatic moments in NASCAR history for Bobby Allison.
Oh, we have a problem. Bobby Allison with a horrible crash here on the front stretch. It has torn out a complete section of protective railing separating it. Alan Kowicki becomes involved.
Debris and is collecting other cars. There was a lot of debris in the front stretch. Kowicki was involved. Richard Petty, I think, is another one of the cars. Lots of debris in the front stretch.
As a result of that crash, NASCAR made the decision to place restrictor plates on the engines for Daytona and Talladega, a decision that has led to slower speeds, but more importantly, safer race cars and racetracks. In addition to the speed records, ESPN has certainly seen some dollar records set, and there was no bigger payday than in 1985 when Bill Elliott won the Winston Million. ESPN viewers first heard from Bill back in March of 1983, when a then winless Bill Elliott was beaten by Richard Petty at Rockingham.
Here they come toward the fourth turn, and the start-finish line coming up. Bill Elliott will make one desperate attempt as he goes to the inside. Richard Petty holds him off, and Richard Petty picks up a victory.
Even though he lost to the King, it was a tough loss for the young driver from Dawsonville.
Well, I thought I could outrun him, but he could beat me out of the corner, and I just couldn't do anything with him, and that's where you got to outrun somebody here. And I did everything I could do, and I just couldn't do it.
Someday.
Well, I'll tell you what, seems like it's getting farther and farther away. I just can't believe this.
Just a little over 2 years later, Elliott was very much in the public eye when he came to Darlington with a chance to win the first Winston Million. Larry Newber made the call of that famous final lap.
Bill Elliott is racing into the record book. Bill Elliott is going toward immortality. Bill Elliott gets the checker flag. Bill Elliott has won an additional $1 million in 1985.
Bill Elliott's $1 million payday was the biggest bonus in NASCAR history, but it took him 3 races to earn it. In 1990, we came to Rockingham with the Unocal bonus at $228,000, and Kyle Petty on the pole for the first time in his career. Kyle dominated the rock on that day, and with the bonus added to the race purse, earned the biggest payday ever for a single Winston Cup point-paying event.
A lot of money today, big guy. I mean, not only we're talking about the halfway challenge, we're talking about winning the race, we're talking about the Unocal $228,000 and the winner's circle. We're talking probably $700,000 to $1 million. That's quite a bit of cash.
Yeah, and I have to admit, I was thinking about it all day long. I tell you, man, this Peak Pontiac, it worked perfect all day. You know, I can't say enough about the crew and what's getting me in and out of the pits first and second all day long. And it's their race, man. They won it. I just rode around in the car.
It had been 12 years since brothers had won back-to-back Winston Cup races, but we had the opportunity to watch it happen in 1990. Brett Bodine picked up his first career win at North Wilkesboro Speedway in the Quaker State Buick.
Here he comes off the fourth corner. He's going to do it. Brett Bodine wins the first Union 400. Look at the crew celebrate.
His brother Jeff followed him to victory lane the following week at Martinsville. In September of 1991, we had an opportunity to watch Harry Gant extend his record as NASCAR's oldest winner, and also extend his record-tying Winston Cup winning streak to 4 races in a row. We've had a lot of fun with the broadcast, as well as watching history in the making. In our next segment, Ned Jarrett will join me as we take a look at the drivers who had their first career win come on ESPN.